Who are you? I'm Batman.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at lesser-known facts about the Merc with a mouth. That's a mouth, not the mouth. That fact was a freebie.
Nice to see you kept my color scheme when you copied my suit. Am I like your idol?
Never heard of you.
Number 20, from villain to antihero. While not afraid to unalive people, few would describe Deadpool as a villain nowadays. When the character first appeared in the New Mutants number 98, he was more anti than hero. In that particular issue, the mysterious Mr. Tolliver, who turns out to be Tyler Dayspring, sends Deadpool to collect a bounty on Cable's head.
Give me back my skee-ball token.
Deadpool clashes with the New Mutants until Domino gets a few lucky shots in his back. This also marked Domino's debut, although technically it was copycat in disguise. Of course, this wouldn't be the last we saw of Deadpool, but he'd evolve from an antagonist to somebody we could root for.
You know, historically, Mischief has been my mistress, so I understand. But I like to think that you guys have really rubbed off on me.
That's not to say his villainous side completely went away, as demonstrated in stories like Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Number 19. He wasn't the first Marvel character to regularly break the fourth wall. A handful of Marvel characters are aware of the audience's existence, including Uatu the Watcher.
As for me, I am the Watcher. The multiverse, every single world, every story is my home. And I will protect it to the end.
If anyone could contend with Wade Wilson as the most self-aware Marvel character, it's Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. Smashing onto the comic pages in 1979, She-Hulk made fourth wall breaks one of her staples long before Deadpool would.
It's true. I am a Hulk. And I'm guessing you're not going to be able to focus on this fun lawyer show until you know all about that, so let me get you up to speed.
In the comics, She-Hulk has fought against Deadpool while also serving as his attorney. Despite having a quirky power in common, they've yet to engage with the audience together. The closest instance is on the variant cover of She-Hulk number 9, where she introduces Deadpool. Also, if She-Hulk beats Deadpool in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, he'll note that this fight might have played out differently if the game came out in 1991. Number 18. Happy Death Day, Mr. President. Deadpool has gone up against his fair share of bizarre opponents, but it's hard to top all of the dearly departed ex-presidents in zombie form.
New York, home of the Mets, the Chrysler Building, those ladies from Sex and the City, and now the zombie apocalypse!
Coinciding with the 2012 US presidential election, Deadpool took center stage in a Marvel Now comic arc aptly titled Dead Presidents. The story sees ex-SHIELD agent Michael Hawthorne resurrect every president, from Washington to Reagan. This backfires as the commanders-in-chief seek to dismantle the country. A hero like Captain America can't put the presidents back in the ground for obvious reasons. Thus, Deadpool answers the call, not being afraid to get his hands dirty. Plus, he's Canadian.
This is so much harder than I thought.
I'm going to hell.
It's Deadpool meets The Walking Dead, even sharing a co-creator, Tony Moore. Number 17. Love, Death, and Deadpool.
Hey, babe, good to see you.
It's been a long time, darling.
You might have heard that Thanos has a romantic history with Lady Death, a detail from the comics that didn't make it into Avengers Infinity War. How could this relationship possibly get any stranger? By having Deadpool turn it into a love triangle. Despite essentially being immortal, Deadpool has had his fair share of brushes with death. He was bound to flirt with Lady Death eventually. It tracks that Deadpool would be drawn to a woman who represents something he can't fully experience.
As always, our time is short. I need you to do something for me.
Just name it, Sugar Skull.
Lady Death seemingly returns Deadpool's affection, much to Thanos' dismay. To prevent the two from being together in the Funeral for a Freak story arc, Thanos curses Deadpool with what he deems a fate worse than death, never being able to die. Number 16. G.I. Joe was an unlikely inspiration. Spider-Man and Wolverine inspired Rob Liefeld when he co-created Deadpool. Liefeld also looked to G.I. Joe, specifically the character of Snake Eyes.
I'm a very big fan. I love the black. It's very Johnny Cash.
We can see a resemblance, with both hiding behind masks and proving skillful with swords. Yet it's ironic that these two would share a connection since Snake Eyes is the silent but deadly type, while Deadpool is constantly cracking one-liners.
I know, right?
Adding to the irony, Hollywood would get these characters totally backward. In Snake Eyes' G.I. Joe Origins, the usually silent character bombards the audience with dialogue.
How did you get your name?
I'll tell you when you get to know me better.
If you live that long.
In X-Men Origins Wolverine, Wade has his mouth sewn shut, taking away his ability to speak. Oh, and in both films, the characters frequently show their faces. It's almost as if Hollywood doesn't understand fan bases.
Well, sew your pretty mouth shut.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Number 15. He was in X-Men the Animated Series, kind of. Given his foul-mouthed reputation, you'd think there'd be no place for Deadpool on Saturday morning.
No, I am not X-Men material at all. First off, I'm not even a virgin.
It might surprise you to learn that he made a few cameos on X-Men the Animated Series. Well, to a certain degree. His most prominent appearance was in the Season 2 episode Whatever It Takes, as Wolverine clashes with Morph. The shape-shifting mutant takes on the form of several others, including Deadpool.
But when I'm through with you, your mind will never recover. I'll risk it.
That said, this isn't the real Wade Wilson. Another episode, Deadly Reunions, features a non-speaking Deadpool in a vision. He also briefly appears as an illusion during the Phoenix Saga. While Deadpool himself doesn't interact with any of the characters, it's safe to assume he exists in this continuity, with Wolverine and Sabretooth remembering him.
Have you only known betrayal by your friends and persecution by humanity?
Number 14. He idolizes Captain America. Deadpool and Captain America aren't the last Marvel characters we'd expect to get along, but they still don't strike us as compatible.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei.
One's an all-American Boy Scout, the other is a Canadian who prefers red over white and blue. Despite being opposites, Deadpool has been a Steve Rogers fanboy since childhood. Granted, Deadpool's admiration for Cap has been tested over the years, most notably during the Secret Empire storyline. At the same time, the two have proven that they can make a great team, even forming an unholy trinity with Wolverine in the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, if Ryan Reynolds could bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, maybe he could get Chris Evans to don the shield one more time. Number 13. There are many Deadpool variants. If you thought the Spider-Verse was wild, just wait until you meet the various versions of Deadpool.
This is unbelievable.
This is the lobby. Welcome to Spider Society.
There have been female variants such as Lady Deadpool, aka Wanda Wilson. He's shown off his animal side as Dogpool, Squirrelpool, Birdpool, Pandapool, and Hello Kitty Deadpool. Zenpool took the character down a pacifist path, while Dreadpool found the mercenary at his absolute darkest. Then again, Evil Deadpool is another strong contender for that title. We've also seen Deadpool as a kid, a king, a wizard, a zombie head, and the nephew of President Woodrow Wilson, Frederick Wheezy Wilson. Deadpool has even merged with other Marvel characters, giving us Venompool, Galactapool, and Dr. Octopool. Our favorite has got to be Gwenpool, who puts a deadly spin on Spider-Gwen. Number 12. Bea Arthur is his favorite Golden Girl. In Deadpool's eyes, Dorothy Zbornak isn't just the MVP of Golden Girls.
Oh, they were so pretty. At that age, you don't even have to be pretty, and you're pretty.
As far as he's concerned, the late Bea Arthur was one of the sexiest women to ever live. Wade Wilson has preserved Arthur's legacy with the Deadpool Corps naming a spaceship in her honor. Staying true to his character, Ryan Reynolds knew he couldn't make a proper Deadpool movie without a nod to Arthur. Reynolds personally paid $10,000 so he could sport a Bea Arthur t-shirt in the first film. The money ultimately went to charity. The actor also dubbed his two katanas Bea and Arthur as a tribute. While Arthur didn't get to see Deadpool hit the silver screen, her legendary co-star Betty White did.
I give it 4 Golden Girls. It's the best picture of the year. So, go see Deadpool this Friday.
Number 11. Why his caption boxes are yellow. Although you can draw parallels between Deadpool and other characters, he's truly one of a kind. Even his speech bubbles are unique. The comics have regularly distinguished Deadpool's commentary through solid yellow text boxes. This emphasizes how nobody else in the Marvel Universe talks or thinks quite like him. But that's not the only meta touch.
Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
In one storyline, Deadpool merges with the villain Madcap, whose presence is hinted at through white caption boxes. When pushed to the dark side in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, evil voices take over in the form of red boxes. Little touches like these highlight the fact that Deadpool is a comic book character, something he's fully aware of.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Number 10. The God of Mischief cursed him. Deadpool is quite the trickster, and at times even godlike, so the idea of him being Loki's son isn't the biggest stretch. The God of Mischief once convinced Deadpool that they were flesh and blood, but this was merely a scheme to steal Thor's hammer. When the plan goes awry, Loki curses his fake son with a new face.
And this one. In case the other fell off.
You'd think that would be a blessing given what's hiding behind Wade's mask. But to his horror, he now resembles Tom Cruise, or as it's spelled here, T-H-O-M-C-R-U-Z. Maverick will continue to stare Wade in the mirror until he reconciles with his real father, who he coincidentally bumps into. It may be the closest we get to seeing Cruise as a Marvel character.
Just stay alive! I'm not going to lose you!
Number 9. The Donald Glover animated series that never was. It's no secret that Donald Glover was an inspiration for Miles Morales. Childish Gambino also nearly played a major role in Deadpool's legacy.
Hey.
Hey. It's rude to stare.
Along with his brother Steven, he started development on a Deadpool animated series that would have aired on FXX. An initial 10 episodes were planned with a 2018 premiere date, but the series was ultimately scrapped due to creative differences. Despite this, some early animation was finished. Glover also released a 15-page script entitled Finale, in which Deadpool goes to Kenya and ponders why his show's been canceled. Little is known about the other episodes that were conceived, although one of them would have involved Taylor Swift. Marvel apparently wasn't pleased with the Swift episode, as Stephen Glover called this, quote, the last straw.
How about telling me the truth? You can't handle the truth!
Really?
Number 8. How Deadpool got his name.
I picked Booth in the Deadpool. Who'd you pick?
You know, wait about that.
No. You did not bet on me to die.
For such a funny character, Deadpool's name is rooted in tragedy. In a 1998 comic, Deadpool opens up to Death about how he joined the Weapon X program in hopes of treating his cancer. Subjected to cruel experiments, Wade's condition worsened to the point that he could see Lady Death, making him want to die faster. Once Wade's heart is torn out only to regrow, it becomes apparent that death won't come to him so easily. In a way, Wade Wilson does die that day. He endures a mental breakdown, adopting a new name. The others had been placing bets on which prisoner would die first, inspiring him to go by Deadpool. Lady Death's presence aside, the 2016 film remains mostly faithful to this backstory.
Captain Deadpool. No, just Deadpool.
Number 7. A pansexual hero.
Kiss me like you miss me, Red.
Well, come here.
While most of Deadpool's love interests have been female, his heart is open to all. In 2013, writer Jerry Duggan described Deadpool as omnisexual, or pansexual. Co-creator Fabian Nicieza didn't put a label on him, but he confirmed, quote, Deadpool is whatever sexual inclination his brain tells him he is in that moment. And then the moment passes. It makes sense that Deadpool would be drawn to shape-shifting characters like Shikla and Copycat. In regards to his on-screen romance with Vanessa, Ryan Reynolds said, quote, Deadpool isn't in love with Vanessa just because she's a woman. He's in love with Vanessa because he loves her.
Skee-ball token.
Our first date.
Yep.
Reynolds is open to finding Deadpool a boyfriend as well. For now, Deadpool started dating the non-binary Valentine Vuong in the comics. Number 6. Deadpool is a daddy.
You mean your
Baby Factory's open for business.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wade has procreated a few potential heirs, some stranger than others. Patient Zero conceived Susan Mary using Deadpool and Spider-Man's DNA, making them co-parents to the Itsy Bitsy Murderess. Deadpool has a slightly better relationship with Eleanor Ellie Camacho, who was raised by her mother Carmelita. After Carmelita dies, Ellie is sent to live with S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Emily Preston. Wade knows that he isn't exactly parent material.
Hey, look at me. You are not your father.
Nonetheless, he has expressed genuine affection for Ellie. Believing that her father can be a better man, Ellie tries to push him in the right direction with mixed results. Ellie also appears in the Marvel 2099 continuity where she clashes with Warda Wilson, Deadpool's other daughter who he had with Shikla. Number 5. SNL inspired his chimichanga obsession. Chimichangas are to Deadpool what carrots are to Bugs Bunny. This defining characteristic wouldn't surface until Cable and Deadpool Volume 1, Number 13, which was published in 2005. The basis for this joke can be traced back to 1990, not long before Deadpool made his debut. Fabian Nicieza and the late Mark Gruenwald were fans of an SNL sketch featuring Jimmy Smits where the cast overpronounced Spanish words.
Antonio Mendoza would like an enchilada.
Although enchiladas come up the most in the sketch, Nicieza and Gruenwald gravitated towards chimichangas. When Deadpool first brings up chimichangas in the comic, he's not that big on the taste. He just likes saying the word chimichanga, preferring to eat enchiladas. This joke would evolve over time, with chimichangas becoming Deadpool's go-to Tex-Mex cuisine.
Hi, Deadpool here with an important public service announcement. This is your brain. Actually, it's a chimichanga, but I'm making a point.
Number 4. Deathstroke paved the way for Deadpool. Deadpool is more satirical than your average comic book vigilante. As such, it's fitting that he essentially started as a send-up of another masked mercenary, Deathstroke. It's not a coincidence that Wade Wilson and Slade Wilson have a last name in common. Observing Rob Liefeld's artwork for Deadpool, Fabian Nicieza couldn't help but notice a striking resemblance to Deathstroke.
What? I'm not Deadpool.
I thought Deadpool was a good guy.
Why does everybody think I'm Deadpool?
You got them guns! And the sword.
Since one is from Marvel and the other from DC, the relation between Deadpool and Deathstroke can never be officially canonized. As an in-joke, though, Wade would be forever bonded to Slade through the Wilson surname. Superficial connections aside, Liefeld firmly argued that Deadpool isn't a Deathstroke ripoff.
Okay, because I came out like way before he did.
Nah, I'm pretty sure you're Deadpool. Look into the camera and say something inappropriate.
Oh, I'm not Deadpool.
The real question is whether or not Death Mask is secretly DC's answer to Deadpool. Number 3. A prognostic fourth wall break. Ryan Reynolds was meant to play Deadpool.
And please don't make the super suit green. Or animated.
So much so that Deadpool referenced the actor before he was even cast. Back when Reynolds starred in Blade Trinity, an executive told him that he'd be an ideal choice if they ever made a Deadpool movie. To familiarize him with the character, the exec sent Reynolds a stack of comics. The first one Reynolds picked up was Cable and Deadpool number 2, published in 2004. In the comic, Deadpool says that he looks like a cross between the Shar-Pei dog breed and Ryan Reynolds. Granted, they spell his name without the Y, but Reynolds knew it was destiny. 5 years later, Reynolds got to play Wade Wilson. And another 7 years later, he'd get to do it right.
You know, for a second there, it felt like we were 3 mini-lion robots coming together to form one super robot.
There's a stupid.
Yeah.
Number 2. Fans kept Deadpool alive and immortal. Upon hitting the scene, Deadpool was merely a side character. Marvel didn't expect him to have much staying power, let alone one day headline a series. The character was immediately well received by readers, however.
I don't know how to thank you, but I do know how to hug you.
No.
According to Fabian Nicieza, the fan mail for The New Mutants number 98 rose, quote, 500%, with, quote, 3/4 of them saying something along the lines of Deadpool was funny, bring him back. Marvel answered their demands with Deadpool popping up in multiple comics before becoming the star of a 1993 miniseries. By 1997, there'd be an ongoing Deadpool comic. Marvel finally realized what they had, although it'd be a while until Hollywood recognized Deadpool's true potential. Thankfully, the fan response to the leaked test footage ensured Deadpool's immortality on the silver screen.
Oh, hello there. I bet you're wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed.
Hey!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Deadpool didn't always break the fourth wall. If there's one character trait we associate with Deadpool, it's taking a sledgehammer to the fourth wall.
That said, when it comes time to licking wounds, there's no place like home. And I share that home with someone you've met.
If there was a fifth wall, Deadpool would find a way to shatter that too. one might assume that Deadpool hit the ground running with self-referential humor. Surprisingly, he wouldn't break the fourth wall until Deadpool number 28, which was published in 1997. The issue sees Deadpool bump into Bullseye, who asks him how long it's been since they last saw each other. Deadpool nonchalantly replies, quote, "Issue 16, Greece." Writer Joe Kelly is often credited for introducing Deadpool's meta-nature, although he'd leave the series after issue number 33. Christopher Priest continued to run with the idea, though, making fourth wall breaks a regular occurrence.
Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
Do you have any Deadpool facts to share? Inform the masses in the comments.
Dick move.
Go.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.